that was limiting you guys as an offense?
We were just in our own heads. I feel like we let outside distractions, the environment, nicks and bruises or whatever we have. Just we weren't focused on doing our best each play in, play out. There was a little thing here, a little thing there, a missed throw, a misread, a missed block. So we honestly survived that first half. That's what I would say about that half. We survived.
How much did you guys notice starting to settle in out of the half and getting that early touchdown that you ran in?
Yeah, that was very important. You know, it's the flip of last year. You know, we're not starting fast, but you know, the guys, we have a bunch of warriors, you know, on that team, on offense, defense, special teams, all three phases that are relentless and won't lose.
And you mentioned the defense there. How much does it help seeing their performance when there are those moments where it's taking some time?
Yeah, that's huge. You know, the statement holds true. Defenses win championships. And so that's what we saw out there today. This is a game last year against Louisiana that we dropped. So, you know, good teams find a way to win bad games.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, what's it like to have guys like Jordan Fuller and Wayne Knight that you can lean on and maybe things start clicking in the passing game?
I mean, it's great. I mean, just with my thought process, my mentality is next play. Whether it's an incompletion, you know, that near interception, it doesn't matter. We have the ball, so we have an opportunity to score. But just, you know, talking about those two guys specifically, I mean, those guys were dogs. You see it, you know, they're tired, they're fighting, you know, and within that's a shout out to the offensive line. Their relentless effort, their will to win too.
What was kind of the message at halftime?
It's us. It's all about us. We limited ourselves. I mean, they say we had 9 penalties for 90 yards in the first half. That's almost a full field of penalties, and those hurt, especially when you're sputtering like we were in the first half. But, you know, we know the guys that we have in that locker room, like I said, and this is a special team, so we're going to come out with those victories.
And I know they weren't all like penalties on the offense and there was some on defense, but there have been some penalty problems this year. How do you make sure that you guys address that going forward to make sure it doesn't rear its head again?
I mean, like I said, play in, play out, we just have to be consistent with, you know, our execution, being our best, focusing on what you have, and, you know, trusting and believing that the brother beside you is going to do that same exact thing.
I'm curious what your mentality is, especially after early where it's a couple drops or a couple incompletions that start the game off.
I'm still going to keep swinging. I mean, I've been through it all in my career here. I've been benched, and I've gotten hurt. And, you know, just not only the fight that I know, you know, within myself, but, you know, who God has called me to be is just that relentlessness. I didn't fight all of this way back, you know, just for it to all fade away. So, you know, and with that, and I know I have guys and brothers around me that are built the same exact way.
What about the mentality of just coming out of like a hard, low-scoring game? Is it any different than like a win like last week?
It's ugly for sure. You feel a little better after a win like last week. You know, that was domination. But, you know, the moral victory is we got the win, which is the most important thing, but that wasn't the standard at all. The guys in that locker room know that. Coaching staff know that. And, you know, we're ready to build on that for next week.
Any other questions for Zach?
What does it kind of mean for you as an offense, though, to be able to run the ball so effectively against such a stacked box?
Yeah. I mean, that's good. Like I said, it's just a testament to the offensive line and the dogs that we have in the backfield. We have to get things going in the air. We have to get things going, and we will.
Similar to what I just said to Zoe, it was a hard-fought game that was a little bit slow on offense. What were you guys able to adjust at halftime that allowed you guys to get your footing as a group?
I mean, I think a lot of it was just us waking up mentally. I think it's tough. We didn't really come out to play today, honestly, in the first half, in all facets, you know, every position group. And then in the second half, you know, we just kind of put our foot down. We're like, all right, like it's going to be on us. It's going to be up front. And we just got to get tough yards. You know, they were playing tough today, and it wasn't going to be easy. So, you know, obviously you switch up a little bit scheme-wise to see what worked, what didn't work, and make some adjustments based on their alignment. But most of it was just mentality. Like, look, we got to go win this game, and it's going to be on the offense. The defense is keeping us in it the whole game, you know, doing their thing like they have all season. So it was really just flipping the switch.
How important is that mentality to own up to the idea of like, hey, we didn't come out to play right away? How important is it to have that to correct it later?
It's important, and honestly, a lot of teams don't have that. But I think with our team at halftime, it was calm. But obviously, you know, you got to get the guys going a little bit. We knew that we had what it takes to win this game. But you do have to flip a switch. That we have guys in our locker room that are able to do that, and we have a lot of great leaders in every position group, really. So that's what, champions do at the end of the day is, you're not going to have your best start every game, all 12 games or whatever it is. So you got to be able to kind of adjust.
What do you think a win like this says about your team? Does it feel any different or mean anymore to win a more physical, like defensive sort of game?
I mean, as an offense, we're kind of frustrated. Obviously, you didn't have the output that we wanted, but a win's a win. It's tough to win games at this level, so you're going to take it. You're not. I don't know if happy's the right word, but we're gonna move on. You'd rather make adjustments after a win than a loss. But to know that we can get in gritty situations like that and come out with a win, I think is good for our character as a team.
I know we talked a lot about your physicality when you were on last week, but we had an open press box today, and it felt like every time you lowered yourself into a defender, we could hear it from all the way up there. How do you just run with no fear?
I mean, to be honest, I had a slow start as well, like the offense, and I was pretty frustrated at halftime. So I wanted to flip the switch a little bit and kind of put some pain on the DBs and the linebackers. But honestly, our offensive line started to get to the second level and kind of allowed me to get there. But for me, it's all about pad level and physicality. Just get under guys. Don't let them get under you, which happened really for the first time this season. In the first half, the safety kind of got to my legs, which I just don't like happening. But it's just really a mentality thing. You get low and you kind of pop guys up and drive your feet. And I tell the O-line every game that, I'm going to try not to go down. Just get behind me. Let's push this thing.
What's the leadership like on the offense when it is a slower start? Because I know you weren't here last year, but there were some guys that were, down at ULM where it was a slow start similar to this, and they didn't come away with the win.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think all the guys that we've had from last year are just a year older, so that's big. Just being more mature and being in those situations, and I think it was really a focus point for this offense and this team from last year to adjust, look, we have to embrace tough situations rather than kind of run from them. And honestly, we looked at it as an opportunity at halftime to be like, look, we're in a dogfight. Let's see what we're really made of. You can talk all you want pregame and all that about, being a tough team and getting in a scrap, but when it happens, you really got to be about it.
This is at halftime. I mean, I know you guys still held to 7 throughout the game. What was kind of the mojo mentality like you guys came along?
Yeah, message was we got to be better. With all the penalties that we had and the stupid mental mistakes and just being emotionally tough through everybody. There's a lot of things we could say at halftime and do, but you got to go out in the second half and actually do them. And I thought we did a great job at that. They're going to get their yards, but making sure you bend over it.
What does it say about this team as a whole to be able to come out of a game like this with a win?
Yeah, it shows that we're tough. Our team last year, I don't know if we would have done that, and I think you find out, the true character of guys going through a game like this. So I think it's something that we needed and something that we fought through, but got to be better.
I know today DJ was dropping in corner quite a bit to defend Hurst. How do you guys overall think you did limiting what is a pretty dynamic wide receiver?
Yeah, I don't know his stats, but I thought we did a good job. We had a good game plan going in. We had some mental errors, obviously, but I thought we did a good job keeping them in check. I thought we did pretty good with the run. Just got to be better overall and making sure that they can't spit it out to the perimeter and making sure we're staying outside on blocks and stuff like that. But I thought we did a good job overall. Obviously we only held them to 7 points, but definitely too many yards for giving up.
And later in the game, when you guys need to get off the field and get the ball back to get this win, Georgia State starts falling into some false starts. How much did you start noticing even this environment with the JMU fans kind of helping swing it in your guys' favor a little bit more?
I mean, it's awesome when you hear after a touchdown, you hear our chant, JMU, JMU. We love our fans. They help us so much, and you can tell it kind of got to them a little bit. When you're in 3rd and 13 and then you back them up even more, it helps for us so much, and it's awesome that our fans can show out and help us in that way.
What is it about this defense? Because it just seems in these moments that you guys may have gotten burned on one long run, but then it's a missed field goal, and then there's a touchdown, but from there out, you guys shut them down completely.
Yeah, it starts with the head guy. Coach Hitch has instilled it in us to play angry, play violent. It doesn't matter. You give up one play, make sure they don't score. If we're giving up field goals all day, we're okay with that. But I thought we showed grit, we showed toughness, and we showed who we really are today. So I think we did a great job.